Good afternoon, and thank you so much for everyone joining this urgent call, and especially to Sam and to J Street for convening us all today and hosting this very painful but very necessary conversation. I'm Rabbi Margo Hughes-Robinson. I'm the executive director of PPI, Partners for Progressive Israel. And for over 3 decades, Partners has really been dedicated to connecting American progressives in the Jewish community and beyond with progressive movements and leaders in Israel and in Palestine, from grassroots organizations to elected leaders who are working for these values we've reiterated over and over on this call of peace and justice and human rights for everyone in the land. I want to share a few words with you. The roofs were filled with women and small children expiring from hunger, and the corpses of old men were piled in the streets. Youth swollen with hunger wandered like shadows in the marketplace until they collapsed. No one mourned the dead because hunger had deadened all feeling. These lines are not from a journalist writing today. They're from Flavius Josephus, writing about the siege of Jerusalem and the destruction of the temple in 70 CE, a horror we'll mourn for this weekend on Tisha B'Av. Our Jewish history and our tradition tells us of the impact of famine and war, the way that this kind of devastation can fundamentally shift the identity and the communal story of a people. It reverberates for generations. And let me be clear, what we are witnessing right now is an emergency. The IPC, the Integrated Food Security Phase Classification Organization that provides intergovernmental collaboration, analysis of food security, nutrition analysis all over the world, declared earlier this week that Gaza is experiencing, and I quote, a worst case scenario of famine. Doctors on the ground are reporting that children in Gaza currently experiencing malnutrition cannot be expected to recover. If aid surged into the Gaza Strip today, and it must surge, only children who are not experiencing malnutrition can be expected to survive. And my heart is especially heavy knowing that 50 Israeli hostages kidnapped on October 7th, 2023, are still held by Hamas and experiencing those same conditions alongside Gazan civilians, in addition to the reports of extreme violence and potential torture that they are facing. And in the West Bank, we are seeing lethal settler violence inflame the already precarious conditions for so many Palestinian villages and communities, some of whom have been completely forced out of their homes by illegal settler land expropriation and violent intimidation. Many in our PPI community in the US and in the land especially are particularly mourning the murder of peace activist and educator Alda Hathalin earlier this week. As of right now, the government is actually still refusing to release his body to his family in Al-Khir, and the military forcibly evacuated and disrupted the Hathalin family's mourning tent this week. And our partners in Israel, including many of the hostage families who we are deeply honored to be in relationship with, have faced abject failure from the Netanyahu administration and even police brutality inside of Israel, as they've continued to advocate to bring their family members home in a full hostage exchange deal, and they have called over and over again for an end to this terrible war. The current government is seeking to destroy their access to funding, to criminalize their protests, and any attempt to speak out for human rights and for peace, both for Jewish and non-Jewish citizens of Israel alike. Palestinian citizens of Israel who speak out against the war in particular have been facing 2 years of a great deal of police intimidation and arbitrary arrests within a climate where the Minister of National Security, Itamar Ben-Gvir, has over and over again very publicly remarked that he does not intend to police for community safety within Palestinian citizens of Israel's communities, abandoning whole neighborhoods and towns for the protection afforded to them as citizens. So those of us who care deeply for Israelis and for Palestinians must speak up. Taking a brave stand against this government and its military and political decisions may feel really different or even at odds with the kind of Israel advocacy that many of us are used to. But it is the most loving thing that you can do for Israeli and Palestinian people right now. A vast majority of Israelis are calling for a permanent end to the war and a full hostage deal now. Palestinian people are crying out for the world to recognize their rights to safety and to freedom. At Partners, we feel that it's past time to recognize a Palestinian state alongside Israel. And if we feel connection and relationship and pain and love for this place and for the peoples who live there, It's that connection and that relationship and that care that obligates us to raise our voices and to speak out and to say with one voice, enough is enough.